shipping has significantly increased its volume of cargoes and the opportunities of maritime careers, including at sea and shore-based jobs. But we find that in each industrial revolution, some jobs are created while others are lost. For example, the textile manufacturers cost weavers their jobs. Agriculture mechanization, farmers also suffered, while in shipping, new roles emerged and some skills have also changed over time. For example, today we have radio officers and electrotechnical officers and ratings. So new roles keep on being created, while some exist in the past, some that existed in the past also come along. So I want to remind us that today we stand on the cusp of yet another revolution. New technology, digitalization, and cybersecurity. We're talking of autonomous ships, mass autonomous surface ships, alternative fuels, ship and shore connectivity, all of which, of course, we appreciate, are crucial to improving and ensuring the sustainability of the shipping industry. So in this context, I want to speak on two emerging issues that will undoubtedly affect shipping and the people who work there. That is the maritime workers, especially the seafarers. There are issues that need our urgent attention. First of all, we need to look at digitalization and how it's affecting the industry, as well as the decarbonization of the shipping industry that is meant to ensure that shipping remains as carbon neutral as possible through the reduction of emissions in the sector. So, ladies and gentlemen, the revolution and transition that we are about to witness will not happen without people being at the center of it, both on and offshore in the shipping industry. Here we are talking about the seafarers and port workers as well. The majority of existing vessels are still a long way from being fully automated and therefore taking part in fully automated operations. And the deployment of new ship design technology, be it in the ships themselves, the green fuels, that is ammonia, hydrogen, methanol, etc., that has not been decided, as these are ongoing developments. In this context, shipping will continue to rely on the expertise and motivation of people despite current technological developments, such as artificial intelligence. And the human element, the seafarers and their career prospects, remain at the center of the social, economic sustainability of the maritime industry. Now, seafarers' skills and qualifications are therefore likely to be highly impacted and to change in the nearby future. So as we deliberate on the various topics lined up for discussion during this conference, let me just point out some key issues that we need as industry leaders gathered here to look at so that the industry remains well placed to get the right people in the right quality and quantity, not just now, but in the future. First of all is the need, and I've been told that I talk about this all the time, the need to attract new entrants into seafaring, catch them young, train them, help them develop the right mindsets, the right resilience at a very early age. Not at the age of the young people we have here today, but much younger. We need to emphasize and to spread programs that catch children at an early age and their imagination. Here I can talk of STEM, elementary education curriculum that introduces them to the maritime industry and the oceans at a much younger age. Now, the other point in attracting young talent to be future ready for the fourth revolution that's coming is to rebrand. We need to speak the right language that resonates with a generation that has grown up in a technical age of computer and global interconnectivity. The Gen Z and the Alpha that are coming need to understand what we are saying. So, what they are looking for is an open and challenging working environment where they can flourish. Young, energetic, innovative, agile. Now, we need to adopt a different language for our messaging. Maybe languages, overhauling language like manning agents. Does it speak to my daughter and my granddaughter? When we talk of second mate, seaman's book, man overboard, those are thoughts for us. Retention is the other issue, and this has many facets. The first one being that the seafarers will be attracted to remain with the same company after cadetship, the cadetship opportunity. But the other aspect is for the seafarer to build a lifelong career through remaining at sea with whichever company he has taken. So there are many factors that come into play in that, and I believe that we here in this forum are best placed to ensuring that we have discussions that feed into this. One adverse factor that may affect this is the lack of assured training berths for young aspiring seafarers. I could cite the example of a young marine engineer who came out of school, and the other day when I'm looking for him to join ship, he tells me, no, I've already taken a career as a policeman, and he couldn't come. So we need to look at that because it's also impacted by the short term of the contracts. 9 months, I don't know when I finish, whether I'm going back, and therefore I need to feed a family. The next opportunity that comes up that's more stable, I'll take it. Diversity is the next issue. Women are not properly represented, yet that's a lot of talent that we have there, and we need programs that attract them and retain them in the sector, particularly with the predicted shortage that we have. Diversity can also be seen from the lens of region. We have already seen from the COVID-19, followed by the Russia-Ukraine conflict, took a big chunk of seafarers from one area, and therefore diversifying the sources of maritime labor, very, very important, and this is where as Africa we come in. How much I would love to see the day when it will be possible for example, a Danish company having a whole crew from Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana. That will be good. Now, the other issue, the third issue we look at the maritime sector is technology. Here we are talking of technological and environmental friendly innovations. And I was pleased in the morning to see the young people who are already on that path. Hope for the future. So we need to look at advancement of digitalization with the opportunities it's creating and the different need of skill sets that it's having, and then prepare ourselves for both scenarios, so that we must retrain the seafarers to adapt and also equip them with the new required skills, such as operations monitoring and system management. Now, the other thing, finally, as I wind up, Industry 4.0 portends a paradigm shift where the seafarers will be expected to interact more with machines, and this underscores the importance of leadership and communication skills to enable and facilitate effective human-machine and human-human coordination. Finally, I must touch on decarbonization, because it's one of the challenges that we have to prepare for. And in this, we see that seafarers will need to acquire new competencies and skills to keep up with this transition. And we have the duty ourselves, particularly the organizers of this conference, RMU, DMI, and other training institutions, in order to come up with training programs that prepare the seafarers with the current fuels that we have. We took a long time and a lot of tragedies to learn how to handle them properly. Exxon Valdez, the Torrey Canyons, we can't afford them now. So we need to prepare for them in terms of being in tandem with regulatory compliance from IMO, in terms of fuel composition, handling, storage, transportation. We need testing and certification know-how, comprehensive risk assessments. How do we handle these fuels in terms of storage, refueling, emergency response preparedness. And the challenge now is to develop training and education programs, education materials that help to ensure that the personnel are adequately trained in the safe handling, storage, and use of these green fuels that are coming. So, as I conclude, collaboration and knowledge sharing at a very high level will be required between the industry, stakeholders, fuel suppliers, ship operators, technical classification society, MET institutions, because only by sharing knowledge and experiences shall we be able to understand how to use the fuels and how to handle them. And governments sit at the center of this. We must recognize the important role that the seafarers have and prepare them. And finally, challenges that we need to understand, just one. We all aspire to be maritime labor suppliers for our socio-economic development, especially Africa. So as the global shipping community is looking for crew, are we ready as a continent? First of all, we must recognize that one of the major barriers is training, access to training for young people. And I was happy to hear in the morning that in Tanzania we have a MET fund. How many of us in Africa has this? Before, the industry used to train, not anymore, because I can get crew from anywhere as a ship owner, so I don't have to invest in them. But it means that the burden has shifted to families. Families who have to balance the need for health issues, education, other needs for the family. And we see that balancing the competing needs of an average family is not a solution for them. So we don't want to start discrimination so that only those who can afford can get access to these jobs. So we need to think of innovative solutions for governments so that we look at the bigger picture and the benefits. And this doesn't apply just to training. We also see that embarkation costs. From my experience, when we started recruiting in Kenya, we target the hospitality industry, which of course is relatively cheaper to train, but the embarkation costs are quite a burden. So you don't want to create those disparities in society. So I want to end by saying that we need stronger collaboration, more innovative solutions amongst us, all of us, across regions, across countries, so that we can tackle the challenges ahead. Thank you so much.
Good call, Your Excellency. My IT people, please stand by. As I saw the presentation was ready by Captain Hamad. Let's just make sure that we... All right, we have a 10-minute time cap for each, an allowance of 2 minutes to wind. Let's get back to Captain Hamad. Your hands once again, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, guys, so here we go. Like I said, today I will not explore the blue economy in detail. What I'm going to do here, I'll try to navigate you through the blue economy journey of Zanzibar, and I'll give you a summary of what we have done and what will be the future of blue economy in Zanzibar. So if I can put Zanzibar in perspective, I'm not sure, slide there on. If I can put Zanzibar in perspective, Zanzibar is an archipelagic state of 53 small islands and 2 main islands, Unguja and Pemba. And by the end of 2022, we had almost 1.9 million population. Half of that was women. And tourism and fishery, they are main socio-economic engine of Zanzibar. And altogether, they are supporting almost 2/3 of the population in terms of job creation, food security, and everything, including foreign exchange. And fisheries, despite being the the archipelago, is still contributing 4 to 8%, and tourism, it was 29%. The interesting fact is that Zanzibar international trade is over 99% seaborne. That's why we opted for blue economy, because we don't have much land. As you can see, the land we have is close to 2,500 square kilometers. And for that reason, we need to go out to the sea. So the blue economy of Zanzibar has 5 priorities. As you can see: fisheries and aquaculture, tourism, energy, including oil and gas and renewable energy, maritime trade and infrastructure, and blue economy governance. So the Ministry of Blue Economy is not doing all of these. Some of the issues that are being done by our sister ministers and even some private institutions and international institutions, they are doing part of Zanzibar blue economy. So let me go back to this. So the Minister of Blue Economy has 3 key performance indicators, if you like. So we are responsible for development of fisheries and aquaculture. Sorry. We are responsible for development of fisheries and aquaculture, and in the energy sector, we are only responsible for oil and gas. And also we are doing the coordination activity. Coordination means there are some pillars of blue economy which are not under our roof, and then we need to coordinate. That means making everybody traveling on the same course, so that they will, in the future, they will be implementing the blue economy agenda of Zanzibar. So this is how the blue economy of Zanzibar looks like. And for those who are not in Tanzania and those who are in Tanzania, this is an interesting fact that if you invest in Zanzibar, you are not only enjoying the market base in Zanzibar and Tanzania alone, you will go all the way beyond the border and accessing SADC and East African market base, which currently is over 600 million people. So it's good to think about investing in Tanzania and Zanzibar in blue economy. And the definition of blue economy depends on where you are. In the European countries, American countries, they don't mostly including inland waters. But here in Africa, the blue economy is inclusive of inland water, but not only that, but also including underground waters. So we have more advantage if you compare with others. As you can see the pictures, the maritime water, inland water in Tanzania is massive. So think about investing in Zanzibar and Tanzania. How far are we? So we as a Zanzibar, we as a Ministry of Blue Economy in Zanzibar, we have done all what we need when it comes to framework. We have the blue economy policy, we have strategy, we have some policies that giving us mandates to push ahead the blue economy agenda. But most importantly, we have the full-fledged Ministry of Blue Economy. So Zanzibar, we are good now to go. As you can see, this is a state-of-the-art seaweed factory in Pemba, and the factory has capacity of processing close to 30,000 dry seaweed per year, and we have already entered into agreement with an English company that they will produce high quality carrageenan, and the production will start I think in the beginning of 2025. And this is very good news to everyone in this room, because the seaweed production at the moment is close to 16,000 tons per year. But this factory needs more than 30,000 tons. That means there is a gap of almost 12 to 14,000 tons. And this indicates that there is a potential market for our people to sell their seaweed across the Tanzania all the way to Pemba. So this is good news for the seaweed farmer in Tanzania. And this picture shows how we transformed the fisheries industry in Zanzibar. As you can see, The previous market, it was like that. If you can see the picture, I think on the left-hand side. And this is the state-of-the-art new fish market in Zanzibar. We have constructed this in collaboration with Chaika, and the market is up and running. And the market is servicing almost 6,000 people per day and 300 fishing vessels per day. And the business environment is very clean, and as we speak, we are replicating this type of fish market across Zanzibar Island. And this year alone, we have already started constructing 4 of these, and this is about $18 million each. So this slide will give you a snapshot of how seaweed production is and fish catch in Zanzibar. I don't speak anymore on seaweed because I have already done it, but what is important in Zanzibar, seaweed is employing close to 23,000 people, 8% of whom they are women. And fish catch, as you can see, is increasing day by day. 2020, we had around 38,000, and by the end of 23, we had almost 80,000. And this is because of the intervention that we made in the sector. As a government, we empowered our local people. We provide them with fishing boats, fitted with all fishing material, including fishing gear, and also we provide them with necessary skill, and the most important part of it, we guaranteed them with the market, and that gave them appetite to do more and much better. As you can see, the fish catch is increasing. But this is not good enough, because this is only for local consumption. 8,000 tons, it is even not enough for local demand. Zanzibar is importing close to 800 tons of fish every year, and that doesn't sound good. So we are doing as much as we can to invite foreign direct investment in a fisheries industry. We need to have deep sea fishing vessels along with the processing facility. This is the slide shows how we are exporting our products, including sea cucumber and muddy crab. Our main target is China, United States of America, South Africa, and I think this slide, maybe it is more relevant for this occasion today. Like I said, one of the blue economy pillars in Zanzibar is maritime transport and maritime infrastructure. So we are investing heavily in maritime infrastructure. We are, as we speak, we are constructing the Mpigaduri passenger terminal. As you can see, is going to have a passenger terminal, Roro terminal, marina, and this terminal will handle, will process close to 6 million passengers per year. Our Malindi port is processing not more than 2.8 million per year. So this facility will double the capacity of current port in Zanzibar. And the other side is Pemba. Pemba, we are expanding, and we have already signed a concession agreement with investors. So the Pemba port now is ready to receive the international ships. This month we will receive one and the first international ship in Zanzibar, in Pemba Island. And I'm sure most of you have been in Zanzibar. So the Malindi port, the one that you use to board or to get on board boats to Dar es Salaam, is going to be transformed into passenger and cruise terminal. The plan is underway. We are only waiting for completion of the multi-purpose port in Mpigaduri, and the construction hasn't started yet, but we have inked the agreement with the potential investors. So once this Mangapwani multi-purpose port has been at least in the first phase, so we will be able to transform the Malindi port into passenger and cruise terminal. And in tourism sector, like I said, the tourism sector is a main economic engine of Zanzibar. Last year we received close to 600,000 tourists, and there are some areas, these are the areas of investment, including meeting conference sector like this, marina. We need to transform Pemba into eco-tourism destination, sport tourism, and fish tournament. Those are some of the plans that we have for the blue economy of Zanzibar. And I'm sure most of you have heard that Zanzibar recently has announced its first licensing round in the oil and gas sector. So we have advertised, or we have floated into the market 8 offshore blocks. So these are available for investment. Anyone who is interested is invited to invest in this area, and the interest is very huge. We expecting that at the end of this year, by December, we'll sign contract for further exploration for oil and gas. And so, like I said, my presentation is all about navigating you into the Zanzibar Blue Economy journey. And in Zanzibar, we are so proud to have a strong leadership, and this leadership is pushing us to the maximum to implement the Blue Economy agenda in Zanzibar. And thank you so much for listening.
Well, thank you very much for a very good presentation, and you also leave a very good picture at the very end of your presentation. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on. Dr. Julius Francis Woiso, School of Aquatic Sciences and Fisheries Technology. Guest speaker number 3. Let's put our hands together, please, ladies and gentlemen. Santa.
Yes, this one. Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm presenting this presentation on behalf of my 2 other colleagues who are in the room, Dr. Blandina Lugendo and Lydia Gaspar. I'll try to highlight some of the challenges and opportunities for blue economy in Tanzania. And I'm going to focus on 2 key issues. As we develop the blue economy, how can we ensure the interests and the livelihoods of the coastal communities are maintained? So that's the first key message from our presentation. The second is blue economy is about integrations of different sectors to ensure optimum utilizations of the resources. So in order to be able to achieve the coordination and integration at the national level, you need also to ensure that within each of the sector there is coordination. Otherwise it will become very difficult for the different sectors to be able to participate. Captain Amadi has also highlighted some of the resources, particularly in the case of Zanzibar Blue Economy resources. These are some of the resources you could see for those who know Dar es Salaam. The ferry market, there's the exploration of oil and gas in the southern part of the country. We have very beautiful coral reef in Mafia, and also the tourism also in Mafia. So, as I said, we will be focusing mainly on importance of protecting the interests of the coastal communities and the importance of strengthening coordination within the sector. And the presentation is going to use small-scale fisheries as a case study, but the intention is whatever we are going to say applies to all the sectors. And we'll try very quickly to respond to several questions. What are the challenges that are facing coastal community in the country? Blue economy in the context of Tanzania. How do we address blue economy agenda? How will the blue economy agenda address the challenge that are facing the coastal communities, the extent of the coastal community involvement in developing solutions to the problems, and lastly, the effectiveness of different new and emerging opportunities. Very broadly, and Captain Amadi and Nancy had already also talked a little bit about what is blue economy is all about. I won't go into the details of it, but look at the traditional sectors and how to optimum the resources from the traditional sectors of tourism, maritime transport, climate change also is a problem, but also it provides opportunities, tourism, and renewable sources as one of the emerging issues. But also there's the waste management is a problem, but also there's quite a lot of opportunities in terms of the dealing with the ocean waste management. Blue economy is regarded as the main approach in addressing the SDG 14, life below water. So blue economy is the main mechanism for SDG 14. And SDG 14 is linked basically to all the other SDGs. And what does the blue economy mean? And I'll talk a little bit later about the blue economy policy that has recently been approved. Is all about ensuring that there's horizontal integration and vertical integration between the different sectors and within the sectors, and ensure that you achieve economic growth, ensure that you meet social and cultural needs of the population, and also ensuring that the environment is protected. So basically, that very in succinct manner, that is the blue economy. But the blue economy, from experience from different parts of the world, one has to be very careful when he's developing the blue economy, because the economic pillar tend to dominate over the other pillars, and particularly the coastal communities. The access to the coastline is affected, and they are the ones that are easily replaced. So how do you ensure that there is a balance? But also the issue of the environment, which you all know about it. But I will be focusing more on the coastal community and economic, and how they are affected by the economic growth. These are the general challenges that we face, not only on the fisheries but in the environment, biodiversity and habitat loss, illegal fishing, overfishing, inadequate governance, there's pollution, but also we have new opportunities which with it bring challenges. And also infrastructure, if not well planned, also it brings challenges. But also there are other challenges that are also affecting the infrastructure development. Very briefly on the fisheries, which I'm using as a case study, marine fisheries sector in Tanzania, is mainly we have fisheries in the territorial waters and fisheries in offshore areas. In territorial waters is mainly the artisanal small-scale fisheries, using mostly canoes and other and small motorized boats. And offshore we use bigger fish vessels. And mainly for the offshore is focusing mainly on tuna. And we do have, as Captain Ahmad showed in his, we have the EZ, Exclusive Economic Zone of more than 200,000 square kilometers. The sector is facing a number of problems. Some are, as I have highlighted earlier, management problems of issues of overfishing, limited access to investment. This applies to all most of the sectors. Conflict within and across the sectors, policy coherence, insufficient coordination among sectors, and lack of platform for dialogue and peer learning. I'll come to that toward the end of my presentation. Very briefly, you look at the union government, the contribution of fisheries, and this is both marine and freshwater. You have about 1.7%, employs about 4.7 million. But when we talk about the fishers, or fishermen, as most of the people do, we are talking only of the people that goes to sea. But it's more than that. There are those who sell nets, there are those who make vessels, different types of repair vessels, and so forth. And we have some experience, learned some lessons from different initiatives that we have taken. And this is an issue of concern. What have we learned from all these different initiatives? Okay? And how are we applying to address the current problem? There are a couple of new opportunities that have been initiated by government. And this is, again, very key as we discuss here on Blue Economy. Again, it applies to all the sectors. How do all these new opportunities, together with what is existing at the moment, be able to contribute to the overall welfare of the fishermen or of the sectors? There is limited linkages between the new initiatives that are being initiated and the existing activities that have been taking place. And one of the major issues is the new opportunities, the Blue Economy policy that was recently passed, and it's focused on 5 key issues: coordination, strengthening coordination, promoting utilization of water resources, enhancing investment in blue economy, strengthening research, and also cross-cutting issues. And it's focusing on 2 issues: gender and governance, good governance. So those are the 5 key issues that the blue economy policy that was recently passed is going to focus on. Very relevant to the fisheries sectors, but also very relevant to the other sectors. Within the fisheries sectors also, we have been promoting the use of technology. One example of that is identifying what we call potential fishing zones. This information is used to the fishermen to be able to identify areas that they can use for fishing. They can go for fishing. We have also, and this information is going to be transferred in mobile applications. This process is almost 95% completed. Digital fish market. This has been used in the Lake Victoria and is being transferred in the marine fisheries. You can be able to get fish knowing where the fish are. And also we are using the technology to be able to monitor and to be able to evaluate the performance of different initiatives that have been taken. This is a new initiative through a project that is funded by USAID to identify areas that they can be used to replenish the fisheries. And again, I'm trying to highlight here, how can all these initiatives be able to feed up to the existing efforts? So key, what we consider as key recommendation, we need coordination within the sector for the fisheries to be able to perform optimally and contribute to the overall goal of the blue economy in the countries. And there are a number of other efforts that recommendations that we are recommending. But the key is to be able to set within the sector to coordinate its activities and be able to contribute to the blue economy development. One very important point that as I end, I think is very important, and it comes from the Economic Intelligence Unit. And it says that the blue economy will take a long time. We should not expect, because this is a transformation, we should not expect to see major results in the next 1 or 2 to 5 years. We need to invest. We need to be consistent over a long period of time, and that's when we'll be able to see the achievement of the blue economy. And we need to go beyond the meetings and be able to have activities on the ground that will contribute to changing to address the challenges that have been highlighted. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for the last presentation, Dr. Julius, and on behalf of the others. I need to check on the EGA platform whether there are already questions coming through. I'm not sure if the panelists know how to log in. Did you log in? No? On your Google browser, please type in presentations.ega.go.tz, and you will probably see the participants already asking questions to you. Okay. I'll write something down for you so that you can use it. Okay. Jamani, tunakumbuka ile platform yetu tuitumie. So, one more presentation. Represented Dr. Abdallah Mohammed, Director of Tourism, and Magdalena Gerald from the Vice President's Office, Environmentalist and Blue Economy, has joined the table as the Chief Moderator. So as soon as Dr. Abdallah is done, we have 50 minutes of deliberation, if need be, the 50 minutes. All right? Kwa hiyo, karibu sana Dr. Abdallah. Let's proceed. Aha. So, yes, this is Dr. Abdullah. Mohammed. Asante sana.
Good afternoon, everybody. Basically, it's written Abdullah, but it has to be read Abdullah. Only the writing is Abdullah. Many people are confusing on that. As you are told, my name is Dr. Abdullah, coming from the Ministry of Tourism and Heritage, Zanzibar. I was asked to say something in a nutshell on the marriage between blue economy and tourism. The previous speakers have touched a little bit concerning how tourism is related to blue economy. But for those who don't know, why in Zanzibar? When you talk of Zanzibar, you are talking of tourism, is because tourism for Zanzibar is the backbone of the economy, as Dr. Hamadi has already shown to us. For instance, the tourism in Zanzibar is contributing over 29.2% of the GDP, but 80% of the foreign earning, and 60,000 direct employment, and over 100,000 indirect employment. And also we close the statistics on December 2023 with international visitors, 600,038,498. And we expect this year to have more than that. So when we talk of the marriage between blue economy and tourism in Zanzibar, we are talking, it means you are talking of tourism in Zanzibar. Why? Because everything in Zanzibar economy is aligned with tourism. And in the same sense, everything in Zanzibar is aligned or married with blue economy. That's why sometimes we told Dr. Hamadi that there's no need to say blue economy. Just say blue tourism. But why we are saying blue economy? Because blue economy is the mother of blue tourism. So when we are talking of blue economy, we're saying that we talk about the sea and the 25 kilometers along the coast. So in that case, all of the Zanzibar Island, Unguja and Pemba is involved in blue economy. When they were teaching us the blue economy last 5 years, Dr. Hamadi was leading the team, they told us that Zanzibar, 70% of Zanzibar is ocean and only 30% is land. So in that case, we'll see how Zanzibar tourism and blue economy is the same thing. So if we take blue economy in totality, blue economy, or you can say blue tourism, why we are saying is the same thing? Because the major tourism activities in Zanzibar can be mostly seen in sun, sand, and sea. And this sand is not sand on the street, but the coastal area sand, where tourists are having sunbathing. And also the sea. When we talk of the sea in tourism, we are talking of all marine activities which take place on the sea. For example, swimming, diving, snorkeling, kite surfing, kayaking, and other tourism activity which take place on the sea. So in this case, we will see how the marriage between blue economy and tourism is very strong. But again, Zanzibar, in Indian Ocean countries, Zanzibar is the leading for good and very beautiful resort. But the resort of Zanzibar also are depending on blue economy. Why? Because all of them, they are being built across the sea. When we are talking Zanzibar is good part for sunset tours. This sunset tour also is being taken on the coastal area of Zanzibar, which is there. Again, you can see the blue economic part. But again, another crucial area which makes this marriage strong is that whatever we engage in blue economy operation in Zanzibar is directly connected to tourism activities. For instance, the ocean itself. The Zanzibar tourism depending on 80% of the ocean. Marine protected area. When the three previous speakers, they are talking of the marine protected areas. The same marine protected areas in Zanzibar are the same areas where tourism activities is taking place. Also, when we talk of fishing areas, it's the same areas where fishing tours are taking place. Also, when talking of aquaculture, for the people of the blue economy, they are saying aquaculture. In the tourism, we just change the name. We call it aquatourism. So you can see how these two cannot be separated. But when we mention seaweed farming nowadays in Zanzibar is part and parcel of the spices of Zanzibar. In the areas where seaweed plantation is taking place, it's the same area where we take tourists to visit as a new product and services for tourists visiting Zanzibar. But again, as part of the development of blue economy in Zanzibar, maritime development, including port infrastructure. The tourism in Zanzibar is mostly depend on the port and the airport. But in this case, the case of blue economy, when you talk of the port, when Dr. Hamadi said now, the policy, the strategy of the blue economy in Zanzibar, we are going to build the new port. This gives place to the tourism cruise ship to be taking place in the Malindi port. So you can find this is strategy in the blue economy, but it is working for tourism because cruise tourism is among the important part of the Zanzibar tourism activity. But it's not only cruise ship which bring Zanzibar international tourists, but also local ferries. The local ferries, when you are talking of domestic tourism, internal tourism, those who are coming from Tanzania mainland, and this number is huge than the international tourists. And again, the secret, many people, they don't know. The tourists who are coming from the mainland Tanzania, they are most spenders. They are the tourists who are coming from international communities. But again, another marriage part between blue economy and tourism in the case of Zanzibar, all challenges which have been mentioned by the previous speaker concerning the blue economy are the same challenges the tourism, particularly the sustainable tourism facing in Zanzibar. For instance, endangering of marine protected area. Why? Because the same place, marine protected area, are the same place we, the tourist people, we want to send tourists in that places. But again, the oil spin, oil and gas, insecurity of marine activities. So in those areas are all challenges facing the blue economy, but the same area facing the tourism activities. But again, now in small island, as you see behind me, to blue economy, that was supposed to be reserved area for fisheries, and Dr. Julia say for other community activities. But for us now, we are taking the same areas and the area for investing more for tourism activities like hotel and marine activity. So you can see how these things are. I'm telling to finish. So my recommendation to this conference, whenever we're thinking of blue economy, we have to think it together with tourism. We are lucky in Zanzibar, the policy, the law, the strategy of the Blue Economy Ministry. It's aligned with the blue tourism or with the tourism itself. Thank you. I'm telling to finish. Thank you. I'm telling to finish.
Asante, Dr. Abdullah. We've heard much about the blue economy within the islands, the other part of the United Republic. Let's get a perspective on it from the mainland side. And from the Vice President's office, please put your hands together for Magdalena Gerald. Karibu sana. Thereafter, I'll welcome our rector, Dr. to come and moderate the session. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm here to talk a little bit about the blue economy in Tanzania mainland perspective. And before I started, I would like to say something on the blue economy. We are saying the blue economy, but at the end of the day, we need to see the impact of blue economy in your life and in our government income. Now, for the mainland, we consider the blue economy to have 4 pillars, which are most and foremost pillars to be considered when we come in the issue of blue economy. The first thing is the environmental conservation on both, on cold water and the seawater, as well as in the mainland. And once you do that, you assure yourself that you are going to have a sustainability of the utilization of the blue economy resources. Again, you cannot succeed on those 2 pillars if you are not going to have a marine spatial plan. You get the point? And in order for the 3 pillars to be successful, you need first to involve community. And at the end is where you can see the outcome, a positive outcome of the blue economy. You will see the economic growth on that area. So having said so, for the mainland Tanzania perspective when it comes to the issues of blue economy, we are saying the government has put in place various instruments, include legal and policy framework for coordinating and managing the blue economy activities in the sector. And few legal instruments which now are in place. We do have a national blue economy policy and its implementing strategy. And again, we do have a guideline for the development of marine spatial planning in the United Republic of Tanzania. And this MSP guideline was developed by both parties and it will be utilized by both parties. I mean the mainland and Zanzibar. And in mainland now, we are in the process of establishing the Blue Economy Development Division under the Vice President's office, which will have 2 sections. The first section will be responsible with the coordination, sector coordination, and the second section will have a duty to make sure all the oceanic governance and marine spatial plan are in place. This division will serve as a central authority to coordinate, promote, and regulate activities related to the sustainable use of marine and aquatic resources and other blue economy related sectors. And the main objectives will be to provide strategic directions, development and coordination of all blue economy activities in the country. And last, we are saying the establishment of these divisions of blue economy in Tanzania mainland, or the initiatives and concern of the government towards blue economy, is a strategic move to harness the untapped potential of the nation's vast natural resources, which are also aligned with global trends in sustainable development and environmental conservation that is essential for economic growth, environmental sustainability, and improved livelihood of Tanzanians. I wish to submit. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the submission. And now we have perspective from both the mainland and Zanzibar. Allow me to welcome Dr. Tumaini Gurumo. You've already joined us. Thank you for being very proactive. Now, there are already questions coming through on the platform. Some of us are using them. For example, may I assist you? From Dr. Isaac Owusu Nyarko, Regional Maritime University, Ghana, says the blue economy, the way forward to minimize greenhouse gases. Okay. I'm not sure how much you can actually write within the page. I think towards the very end, if we could now just simply write the questions. Let me go all the way to the bottom. Yeah, there are many questions. There are many good questions. There's a question to Ambassador Nancy. What are the things that should be done so as to make sure that young seafarers pursue their dreams and training? They do this well without delay because of financial problems. Why Tanzania doesn't engage effectively in deep sea fishing like other countries? What has become of the new shipyard of Tanzania near Lake Victoria that was proposed in the second Blue Economy Conference of last year? Nancy, you talked about capturing young minds, leading them to seagoing careers. Do we look into their later family building, considering the separation of spouses for lengths of time, thus stressing marriages? Interesting, that's from Captain Matilia. And so forth. Can you see these? I'm just giving you a snapshot of some of the questions that are coming through, but the moderator will continue. So the resource is there, the audience is here. I just want to hand it over now. Okay. But please, could we be mindful of Captain Hamad? He has an engagement, and if there's anything specific going to him, let's give it to him, and then let's allow him to leave as he has a 16 hours appointment that's very urgent. Karibu sana.
Asante. Thank you very much, Mr. Taji. Now, we have heard the presentations and from the guest speakers. Now, we welcome questions ideas, discussions from the audience. But because of the time limit for Captain Ahmad, please, could we kindly start with anything we have that we start shooting towards Captain Ahmad? Okay? Please, welcome. Mostly it was about the journey of blue economy in Zanzibar. And there is something that I took with me about investing in blue economy. And that we should, I think it is an area that we need to work upon. We have waters, we have people, but we have opportunities in blue economy, but I think there is also opportunity to invest in blue economy activities. Blue economy journey will not reach where we want it to go unless we invest heavily and strategically. If we have anything for Dr. Ahmad, please. Yes. Somebody help us there.
We have our ushers with microphones in the room.
Thank you. Well, nitatumia Kiingereza na Kiswahili lakini nitachanganya na Kiingereza. I'm called Dr. Amani George Ruyendela from the University of Dodoma, the College of Earth Sciences and Engineering, Department of Environmental Engineering and Management. So, a lot has been said about the blue economy. I've seen the frameworks that have been developed to guide this sector, if I would call it. In Zanzibar, I've also seen the frameworks in the National Blue Economy Policy in Tanzania. But throughout the presentation, I've heard very little about sustainability or environment in concrete terms. Kwa hiyo swali langu linaenda kwa, although linagusa kwa Dr. Ahmad, lakini pia it goes to the presenter from the Vice President's office. And wakati unaongea uligusia kuhusu spatial planning, na last speaker ameongelea kuhusu acting strategically. Kwa hiyo swali langu ni, I wanted to know why has the role of strategic environmental assessment, why doesn't it come out very well wakati ni it's a very strategic tool, na kwenye ku make bold moves kama hizi za kwenda kwenye blue economy ili tuweze kuwa more sustainable, we need to use strategic environmental assessment vilivyo ili tuende kwenye direction ambayo iko more sustainable, ili isije ikatokea kama kwenye sekta nyingine ambazo nyingi zinafanya vibaya kwa sababu ya kukosa strategic direction in terms of environmental management. Kwa hiyo swali langu ni kwa nini role ya SEA haikama kama inavyotakiwa kuwa kulingana na umuhimu tulioupa SEA kwenye sheria zetu za Tanzania. Asante.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other participant? Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Fortunatus Nyundo and I work with VSU International. Thank you so much, Captain Ahmad, for your presentation. For me, I would like us to hear in the journey of blue economy in Zanzibar, what was the role of young people in that journey, but also how blue economy is impacting household economy in Zanzibar, but also for a presenter from the Vice President Office. How was the participation of young people in the development of the blue economy policy? Thank you.
Thank you. Please, the mic there.
My name is Mugabo. Mine is a food for thought. I have learned that in 2023, Malawi earned 4% GDP from fisheries, from the numbered water bodies around Malawi. While in Tanzania we have plenty resources of water bodies, and all the oceans, rivers, and lakes contribute to 1.4% of the GDP. Now, my question, or what I think is, should we go and learn from Malawi as far as fishing is concerned, as we are embarking into blue economy? Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you. My name is Jose Ampogole from the Institute of Rural Development Planning in Dodoma. Thank you, Captain Dr. Hamad, for your insightful presentation. You highlighted a number of things that the revolutionary government of Zanzibar is doing in strengthening the blue economy sector. And some of the things that you highlighted were, for example, the opportunities in fishing where current demands is basically lower than current production of fish. Also, you mentioned in terms of seaweed production that the demand levels are much higher than what is currently being produced. So the issue is what I'm interested in, and since the government of Zanzibar has basically supported procurement of deep sea fishing vessels, now the question is, who is going to operate those vessels? Because we know, for example, these small-scale fishers are basically traditional fishers who have maybe inherited the business from their parents, but they do not have skills to operate these vessels. So how much is the government preparing or building capacity of the young individuals so that they can take up these opportunities? We see from agriculture, for example, at the moment, there are some youth graduates who are going into agriculture. Should we also expect to see graduates going into fishing, for example? Or what should be done more to enhance that? Thank you.
Thank you. I think, Captain Hamad, please, can you respond to questions that comes direct to your side? Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, and I'm sorry I didn't catch the name properly, but I'll try to address the questions as have been highlighted. So we had a question from my colleague from Dodoma who asked why there was not a sustainability issue popped up into the presentation. That's a very interesting question. And you know, these presentations are normally customized depending on the function. I was supposed to do that, but let me give you what we have done so far in that case. We are taking this issue seriously, and as we speak, we have 5 environmental conservation area gazetted, and they have proper mandates, including everything when it comes to legal framework. And we are expanding further. I think this year we will gazette 2 more environmental conservation areas. And these take us to your question that we are taking into account sustainability issue very seriously, because my colleague from mainland started the other way around. She said, without sustainability, there is no blue economy, and that is your question. So that is pillar number 5 within Zanzibar Blue Economy agenda. But our pillar is not like they are in priority, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a completely pillar for sustainability. And if I can bold these words, that without sustainability, there will never, ever be any blue economy ahead. Thank you so much. The next question, which is the role of youth in the blue economy. Yeah, that is very important. In Zanzibar, over 55% of the population is between the 18 to 45 age bracket. So this group is considered in the blue economy agenda properly, and we have a special motivation for them, including small grant, but mostly we are giving them financial assistance with 0 interest rate. And we are giving them education and mostly skill when it comes to fisheries. But youth and the issue of gender, we have completely framework separately from the blue economy that is guiding how this particular group of people that they could be taken into our blue economy journey. My colleague, I haven't got his name. I didn't get his name, but he said, this is not my question, but I'd like to explore why Malawi has 1.4, why Tanzania has 1.2, and I emphasize in my presentation that Zanzibar is surrounded by ocean all over, but we still have 4 to 8%. So the reason is, first of all, GDP is a relative figure. So when the economy grows, other sector is not going proportional to the GDP. But the most important fact is that we are fishing so far artisanal fishing style. We haven't got out to the deep sea where much resources are there. So this is the big issue to Zanzibar. I'm sure my colleague from mainland will speak the same, that we need to invest heavily into deep sea fishing. And once we have done that, we will attract more fishing vessels. The production, fish production will increase, and the value chain along the sector will increase, and that's where the GDP will go skyrocketing. And the last question addressed to me was, Zanzibar is about to buy deep sea fishing. Thank you so much. I think I've got enough information on that. And Zanzibar is going to buy 2 fishing vessels of 33.6 meter, and we will add more 2 later on. We have already trained around 12 youth using Albacora vessels. They are not expert, but at least they have gone out to the sea. I think seafarers, they know that fishing and a commercial vessel, they are 2 different things. Commercial vessel, when they encounter turbulence, they will seek refuge. But fishing vessel, the more you find turbulence, the more you need to go there, because there are a lot of fish. So we have trained close to 12, and the vessels will be managed under PPP. So we would expect that the other party within the business will come in with the experience that will help our youth, both in Tanzania, mainland, and Zanzibar, to gain experience at sea. So those were 4 questions for me, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Captain Hamad. Before I give you a leave, there are 2 questions that I have found online. Could you kindly say something about the challenges that Zanzibar is facing in implementing blue economy? That is one. But the second thing is, Are there any incentives that Zanzibar is using to attract investors in blue economy? Thank you.
Right. So the biggest challenge that we faced in Zanzibar was mind setting. A lot of people, they didn't understand exactly what blue economy means to them. So they thought that blue economy is like the picture Dr. Julius has just shown us, that there are a lot of resources in the sea, you will go and get it. So putting them in a position that they have to understand that in order for you to get out of blue economy, you need, first of all, to do something good to the sea and the environment. And that was the big issue. For instance, we gave them boat, we gave them everything. So instead of going out to the sea to fish, they go back to the shore, destroying the environment. So that was the big challenge in the beginning. Now they have understood, and because we have law and enforcement, so at least now they are not fishing within the dedicated area, I mean conservation area. So that was the biggest challenge. But the second challenge was marketing. As I said, when we made intervention into the sector like a seaweed, so we realized that there are a lot of seaweed produced, but we didn't have proper market, because most of the market was owned by middlemen, and honestly they were not going very much good. They were helping, but not that to the level that we needed. To address that, the government introduced its own seaweed company that was mandated to guarantee the market, including rising the seaweed price, and then we addressed that issue. So the same has been reflected into fisheries and other sector. When it comes to challenge also, we have, I can say we still have, you know, most of the seaweed value chain is men-based. I mean, it's gender-based, it's men-based. So women in the Zanzibar seaweed, I think they are less than 17%. But the more we pump money and resources into blue economy value chain, the more we are pushing women outside of those value chain. So this is still a challenge, because most of the women, they need what I can say, entrepreneur skill, which they don't have at the moment. So in order to guarantee that their market and their place within the blue economy is still preserved, we need to give them special priority. And that's the reason we created a special blue economy gender strategy that is going to empower women and youth so that they can remain within the value chain of the blue economy. Incentive, we have two types of incentive. We have off-the-shelf incentive, and some of them like PPP. When you would like to get into the Zanzibar PPP, we have off-the-shelf incentive. We invite you, talk to you, and ask you what you need so that you can be comfortable working with us. So there is no anything I can tell you that we can produce 1, 2, 3, but we are discussing with the investor. But in other sector and in other part of the blue economy, we have incentive already displayed or gazetted, and they are available for you to review. But what is important, in the last budget, Zanzibar announced that importation of cold storage facility, ice making machines, and anything that relating to post-harvest loss reduction, it doesn't have any taxes. So we remove VAT and all taxes in that area. So I think this is the biggest incentive ever in the blue economy agenda of Zanzibar. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for Captain Hamad. Ambassador Nancy Karigitu. And I would start with a few questions that have been already posted. One of them being, what are the strategies, or what strategies could be used to motivate young people to join maritime field, especially seafaring strategies? But also there is a question about, you talked about inspiring young girls into seafaring career. Now somebody is wondering, do you consider their future life as wives? They will be far, far from their families. And maybe we start there, please. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Let me start by the first one. How do we motivate young people to get into seafaring? Like I had said, young people, a lot of young people, in my experience, a lot of young people learn about the maritime sector at the tail end of their formal education. So we need to inculcate into them, because if I think about my country, Kenya, we've got a big country with various experiences. We've got the mountains, we've got some desert, livestock rearing areas. Then we've got the coast, where the blue economy, we know that's the natural habitat. And a lot of children will grow up until their formal education, they've never been exposed to the sea. I was one of them. By which time, mindsets have been formed about careers, about the futures they want. But how different would it be if we were able to interest them or to expose them to the maritime sector when they are younger? Will we not motivate them to join the sector and to start imagining themselves as seafarers if we bring out the positive aspects of them and something like that in the sector? Can we have curriculums that speak to them earlier? Same way we emphasize so much about the green economy, agriculture. We even had clubs in the schools so that they grew up knowing. Maritime is not your everyday careers that you meet. It's not like aviation. Even the child in the village will see a plane when they are growing up and aspire to be pilots. So this has to be a deliberate, intentional effort on behalf of the government, on behalf of the educationists, so that children learn early. Now, somebody has asked, or rather in the question was, how do we motivate them because of the impediments of the finances? And some of the things we've experienced and we've taken up is interesting the private sector, like the financial sector, to come in and support them. But then, on that one, I will say it is twofold. There's a give and take. If one is given the money or the financial muscle then to join and study, then they should have the commitment to pay it back. And some of the things we've experienced, particularly in Kenya, is people who are not committed. So it comes with also financial discipline, for example. Now, when a country looks at the whole issue holistically, then it's easier to understand and it's easier to work as one. The way our governments are organized, and I think it's something we inherited, is we tend to have so much silo mentality. We have to break those walls. Education thinks as education, medicine thinks as medicine, finance thinks as medicine. Yet, if we had integrated thinking in terms of what benefits we draw from the blue economy, because even if you look at the SDGs, all of them have something to benefit. Implementation of the SDGs will benefit from the blue economy on all sectors: reduction of poverty, health, education, equality. We need to take a holistic, integrated view of our socio-economic fabric and then take a balance. Where will the benefits be more so that we concentrate and drive incentives, finances, into that. And I believe that the blue economy is one such area that will benefit from the breakdown of silos and channeling of resources and everything that we can do to be able to reap the benefits and particularly bring in the young people. Now, I'm wondering whether I'm the best person to talk about inspiring young girls to leave their whole domestic chores at home so that they do not go to work. And I want to say, biology said that we are the ones who are nurturers, the ladies, but it didn't say we can do it alone. So we need the support of our brothers, our fathers, and the males in the sector to be able to contribute. And also the employers, particularly in this new dispensation, are there jobs we can do in terms, as women, in terms of not having to spend so much time. We know it's the traditional way of working that kept the ladies away from home for so long. But is there a way that we can have sandwich, working arrangements so that they are also able to work? Now, one of the biggest drawbacks is not being able to be assured as a mother that I can take my leave to go and do the nurturing bit and come back and get a job. Will I still have a place? Or can the employer also structure their work in such a way that I'll find a place to plug in? Society is, proceeding, and we need some of those incentives that allow the young ladies to go in and work and come back home, because the industry needs it. It's not just because we are being selfish as ladies, but that's the way of looking at it. We know that the workplace benefits when all of us are exposed and are able to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Nancy. Do we have anything from the audience? Any more inputs from the audience, please? Please, I see 1, 2 hands there. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Lota Melamari from Nature, Tanzania in Arusha. When you look at tourism and look at their preferred areas, their motivation, you find that they match very well with what the Congress has. But a very delicate area is how do we distribute the income? How do we make it accessible as investments to the local communities? What role, specific roles can they play? At the same time, when the operative area is the ocean and the coastal belt, certainly those are highly priced, and therefore the tendency becomes normally out of that area for tourism. I think while governments are struggling to equate the equation, there is a need to embark on awareness on managing these resources, because that's the delicate part. If people are not given capacity building plus strong education behind it, it will be just a song which is sung to deaf ears. I'm sorry to say that. So I think we have to strengthen advocacy, education, and capacity building in general, like the government of Zanzibar is doing. Those boats and other equipment which is used to manage the resources, not only to exploit, but to manage, is important. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's mostly contribution, right? Rather than a question. Thank you.
My name is Captain Andrew Matilia. Seafaring, it's a big chunk that contributes towards success of this UCHUMI or blue economy. Seafarers have to be happy, to have settled mind so that they can discharge their duties accordingly. Now, being happy, their families have to be happy for them to be happy. Now, how can that happen? If you know that you are a seafarer and you know that your family is very well provided for, and when the spouse needs you, you are reachable, and a lot of time is not does not go by without seeing each other, things will be okay. In Tanzania, and I believe in Kenya, we haven't got very well established companies which have got foreign-going ships. The ships we have, they just ply maybe from Dar es Salaam to Zanzibar, Tanga, and say like in Mombasa, maybe that is foreign, may I say. But again, their tours of duty are not all that well structured to be able to know that what time will that seafarer will be at home. And in so, as such, even a lot of our young seafarers, young men and women who aspire to go to sea, they don't get enough sea-going service for them to qualify for their certificate of competencies. And some take initiative of their own to go away, and in most places like the Arabian Gulf, to work there without proper contracts, etc. They leave their families behind without knowing when they'll be coming back, and as such, they won't be happy on board. Tempers fly. Some can injure themselves. We've seen a few instances where people have got injured because of this. Now, how can we take care of this? If our governments will take the initiatives of acquiring ships, just like we have the Sinota ship. We once had the East African National Shipping Line. When the tours of duty were well established, you know when you'll be at home, you get proper sea service, and when you are in port, you are, well, if we talk about men, because we are the main people who are on board ships. You know, you can even take your wife with you if you are an officer. That relieves the stresses of married lives. And with that, through this KONGAMANO, I would hope the government will see to this, go back, establish our national carrier like we have, and I do believe that cargo is there. They'll get enough cargo. Ethiopia is a landlocked country, but it has a shipping line. Why can't we? In Tanzania, we bought lots of aircrafts. Why can't we have shipping as well, a national carrier? That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you for the contribution about the welfare of seafarers, development of national career to allow more seafarers to attend on-board training. And this, I think, applies to not only in Tanzania, but the whole of Africa. The shortage of on-board training for seafarers. So I think that is another area that we really need to look at and to see how to strategize how we could forge ahead. Because we have, like, for instance, in Tanzania, almost half or more than half of the population is youth. More than half of the population. And this is the area of blue economy where we could get more employment for the youth. So it is very important to look at this particular area. There was another hand. Please, welcome.
Hello. My name is Frank Ephraim Kamina. I came from the Young Ship Tanzania, is an NGO, and also employed in a shipping line. I have few contribution for youth as part of Gen Z from here, because I've seen a lot of opportunity through blue economy. As if you check through shipping lines, which are private sectors, we have banks, we have insurance companies who also can contribute on this blue economy. So I think maybe in the next kongamano, we could invite as our speakers, and they can let us know how can they join blue economy through, or they can contribute through blue economy. You can link insurance company, because we also study in. I was a student as a DMI, so I know there's a shipping insurance or there's a marine insurance that as a subtopic, and as also there's opportunity in marine insurance. As you see, a few years back, we experienced one of the tragic of the ship. I mean, boat. I don't remember which boat, which has been. We have lost a lot of people at the sea. So I think is an opportunity for us to discuss to avoid more tragic, which can happen in the next, even today or even next 2 years or whatever. Well, that is one of our private sectors. And also, I didn't see any of our speaker who talked about opportunities for those students who are still studying, and there's opportunity for content creators who can use their free time to create. You know, if you go to the DMI, you'll see there's an open space. You'll see the vessels come through. You will see the boats. You'll see ferries. You'll see the big ship. You'll see the container ships. You'll see all vessels, and also you'll see these Trump vessels. So there's a lot of things that people from the village or from the other side, without the as I see, they don't know what the blue economy is. So through content creators as a youth, if you're a student and there's opportunity for you, you have the phone, you don't need to have a lot of money. Only the phone. You have followers, more than 10K or 20. Most of you are influencers who are still studying. So you can use your followers to show what is within blue economy. What is blue economy? What the type of vessels are entering our ports? What types of boats are being carrying passengers from Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam? So that is an opportunity that you can also use, because I've seen a lot of questions from the platform which are asking for how this blue economy can benefit students and so. So if you have followers instead of posting yourself, you can take pictures of vessels and explain even kwa lugha yako ya Kiswahili. Unaweza kawaambia watu kwamba hii ni meli ya aina fulani inabeba container za aina hii, ama ni meli ambayo inabeba mafuta, inabeba abiria, au inabeba general cargo, na riski ni zipi ikitokea, let's say imetokea ajali baharini, kampuni insurance inachukua hatua gani kuanzia pale? Au mtu aliyepoteza maisha na anategemewa na familia nyumbani, anapata benefit gani, au analipwaje ili kubenefit familia ambayo wameiacha baada ya kupoteza maisha? That is the only thing that I want to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you for the contribution. Please now, may I welcome any contributions on the part of Dr. Julius' presentation, Challenges and Opportunities. I caught something about coordination, the need for coordination in developing sustainable blue economy. As we understand that blue economy covers a number of sectors. Now, without coordination, truly, we will not be able to achieve the sustainable blue economy that we crave for. Now, is there any contribution from? So you have some? Welcome.
There are a couple of questions in the platform. Okay, and okay, I'll respond to all because there's many. One is how does the government support small-scale fisheries to make sure that they contribute to the development of blue economy? There are several efforts. I highlighted some of them. Government has given out efforts on both sides of the on both sides of the union, has given boats to the fishers. They've given fishing gears. Government is constructing fishing ports. Government is also providing technical support, and also is providing support for securing markets for the small fishermen. I should say here that we have to be very frank with ourselves in terms of you have to understand the sector that you want to support. Fishery sector is a very complicated sector because the people that you see fishing, they may not be the owners of the vessel. They may not be the owners of the fishing gears. They are crew. And most of the time the support has gone to them. The support that was targeting them has ended up to the owners of the vessels and owners of the gears. And that has been is a system that has been in place for many years in fishing. For those who are coming from Tanzania also knows what is happening in cashew nuts industry. Is the same that is happening in fishing. So it's a system that is very difficult. So the support is provided by the government, but in some cases it's not ending up helping the fishermen. Okay, because they are employed. They are not the owners of the vessels. Okay. So that's but there are quite a lot of effort in recent years targeting the fishermen. There was also a question on the why blue economy now? Okay, what has been done in the past? What blue economy, in my opinion, is building up I assume most of you remember, before blue economy, we were talking about green economy. And it's all about sustainability. How do we ensure the resources are sustainable for the current and the future generation? So what the blue economy has brought in is the realization that our development depends very much on the resources that are currently found in the ocean. We have exhausted. We know, for instance, here in Dar es Salaam, for instance, if you want sand and gravel for construction, you have to go to Lugoba. We are going very far. But what will happen next is actually going to the sea to look for sand for construction. So in some countries, they do not have any more places to mine sand for construction. So they are going to the sea. Japan is one of them. All its sand for construction is coming from the sea. So the resources, there is a realization that the resources on land are becoming exhausted. So that's one. The second point is what blue economy is bringing in is we are also realizing that when it comes to protein sources, the sea provides us with a potential for increasing with a minimal impact with a limited impact on the environment, increasing the amount of protein that we can get for our population. Okay. Because again, the sources of protein on land, they have a number of challenges that are facing. So the blue economy is looking at the new opportunities to be able to increase the resources that are needed by increasing population, but also it helps us to undertake new approaches. We are also realizing that different sectors are not achieving their optimal their optimal capacity because of the impact of the other sectors. I'll give one good example. For instance, the ports. They have to dredge regularly because of the sand which is coming from land. So the ports are ending up incurring higher operational costs because of the dredging costs. So if they want to minimize the dredging costs, they have to talk to the agricultural people, they have to go to talk to the land people, they have to talk to the environment people, and that's not provided in the current system. But the blue economy framework provides for that framework in which different sectors can talk and coordinate their actions. Another question is how does Tanzania plan to balance economic growth with a need for environmental conservation in coastal areas? I'll leave that to Magdalena. Tanzania also, in terms of the collaboration with the other countries and international organizations to develop blue economy, you saw in Captain Amadi's presentation, one of their specific objectives of blue economy development is blue diplomacy. But also, even in the United Republic of Tanzania, the country has been in the forefront of developing the blue economy at the regional and the global level. And this is building on long-term association of the country with the ocean. It started with the law of the sea, and this is the continuation. As some of you may know, Tanzania was in the forefront in the development of the law of the sea. The former Prime Minister Warioba and other political figures were very key in the negotiation for the law of this. So this is building up on what the country has been in the forefront on the ocean matters. Why are the challenges in fisheries seems to be increasing and not decreasing? Again, it's, as I said, the fisheries sector is a very complicated sector. Okay, and with all the efforts, there are a lot of leakages that are happening in the sector, which are very difficult to address. And this actually may explain what our colleague from Malawi indicated, why fisheries seems to be contributing a very small amount compared to Malawi. Smuggling of, I don't know whether some of you may know, there's a lot of smuggling of fish products through Zambia. There's quite a lot of recent Congo has become our main market for dagar. And some of it is going through the Panya routes. So there's quite a lot of illegal export of fish products, and we are not being able to capture all and one of the main activities in the blue economy is to put up system to be able to account for contribution of different sectors into the economy. So that's one of the priority activity. I think I'll end there for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Julius. Could you kindly respond to this as well? How do we implement blue economy without harm to marine environment? If you could say something about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was leaving that to Magdalena, but okay.
Okay, thank you. Magdalena will respond to that, but also it says, how do we implement blue economy without harm to marine environment? Implement blue economy without harm to marine environment.
So, should I respond to my all questions or on this one?
Everything
okay.
You have. Thank you.
Come again from your question. How do we
implement blue economy without harm to marine environment?
Okay. During my presentation, I said there is no blue economy without sustainability. And when you talk about the sustainability, there is no way you can escape from environmental conservation. And when you talk about all these two things, environmental conservation and sustainability, you cannot achieve these two concepts without having a marine spatial plan when it comes to issues of blue economy. So, regarding to your question, once we implement these three concepts, including the involvement of community, who are the beneficiaries, main beneficiaries of blue economy, I'm sure your question will be answered. Another one from Doctor. I think my response covered your question concerning the environmental conservation. You said this. You are not convinced? All right. Another question, it was, is there any policy in national blue economy policy tend to guide fishing activity that take place in different Again, during my presentation, I said the government of Tanzania, in mainland perspective, when it comes to the issue of blue economy. We've already established the National Blue Economy Policy and its implementing strategies. When you look at the strategies, you will find all the beneficiary sectors there, and all the initiatives or action they need to take in order to ensure we utilize our marine resources without harm our environment, and to ensure that we are going to have a sustainability of our resource, including improvement of our economy. And there was a question about the strategic environmental assessment in connection with the blue economy. We've already developed the Marine Spatial Plan. And for Tanzania, the process of developing the Marine Spatial Plan, we have 7 stages. And during the preparation of this guide, we consider both regional and global steps to be taken during the MSP preparation. So among the 7 steps, there is one step which you consider the SALAAM issues. So we believe in Tanzania, once we move on with these blue economy issues, the SALAAM issues is one of our key aspects to be considered. Again, I think I'm done, unless there is another question.
Thank you. If you could kindly respond to how can we learn from Zanzibar in the implementation of blue economy? Okay. You will take it?
Thank you, moderator. In answering that question, which say how best can we learn from Zanzibar on blue economy and tourism, I can also add to the question which asks how we can mobilize internal tourism. What we can learn from Zanzibar, and also how we can we can mobilize internal tourism, is by empower the local community of Tanzania on marine economic based tourism. We can do this by involving those coastal people on tourism activities in the close area of their habitants, by providing them with seed fund for the project, and that one is already taking place in Zanzibar. But also in those aquacultures area. What Zanzibar is doing now, in the aquaculture area, the government is building better environment for tourists to have a place where they can visit these people. So instead of these people only selling fish, the government is building service building, toilets, and restaurants. So tourists are going there, and for the government, it's already introduced a new tourist service or product to these people, and the people on that area, they get employed. But also, the government of Zanzibar, what it's doing is introduce community-based organization through the Ministry of Environment, as well as community-based fishing community through the Ministry of Blue Economy, and they're providing them with seed fund to introduce some other activities so that it can provide them with other activities by reducing them from going to fishing, but providing them with other activities to run their household. Because if you ask people not to go to fish, then they cannot get their food. But what the Blue Economic, Omar will say it better, but what the Blue Economic Ministry is doing in Zanzibar is providing them with other activity by providing them with staple fund. But also, the government of Zanzibar is doing is empower local on enabling how to get fund, staple fund, and also loans from financial institutions which can help them to establish small and medium tourism activity, particularly those dealing with ecotourism and climate change activities. There's other question which asking that how the government is working with international institutions on working on developing blue economy. Also in the program which I said before, the Ministry of Blue Economy is working very close to USAID Heshimu Bahari program in operating the marine protected area. Also, the Ministry of Tourism and Heritage Zanzibar is working very closely with UNDP. Now, from next month, we are going to provide electric machine boat. We are going to start at 5 at Forodhani, because there's another question also, moderator, which asks why we don't use electric machine. Because this kind of electric machine were provided to us since last year, but we're afraid to use them. Why? Because we didn't know how safe they will be to our marine life. But now it's using it in different islands. For example, in Tunisia. In Tunisia, they are using it a lot. And next month, Zanzibar will try in Forodhani area by providing 4 boats with electric machine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any contribution from the audience? We have few minutes. Please. Oh, before contribution from the audience, Madam Ambassador wants to say something. Thank you.
Thank you. I had seen a question to me on sustainability, what Kenya is doing or what we can propose on sustainability of the blue economy, and I just wanted to add to what my colleagues had said in terms of keeping the sector as productive and beneficial to not just the current generation but to the future generation by making sure that it remains resilient in terms of the ecosystem. So we're talking of using clean fuels, using renewable energies, and also circular economy, which will call for a closer collaboration, for example, with the players, with the communities. For example, cities. My colleague has mentioned about electric equipment. How much of that can we incorporate? The port users, do they understand? Of course, it will come with a lot of capacity building so that they may understand what are the benefits. Because right now we use the ports, they're like garrisons. So people don't know because we guard them so much, the port city communities may not understand what contribution they may make in order to also contribute to sustainability. Yet we live in a continent that has got so much potential in terms of the ingredients and the resources that are needed for, green power, green energies, and, what exactly the sector needs for sustainability. The solar systems, the wind power, the tidal waves, which is what now the private people, in terms of port communities, can also make a contribution on. The regional governments, if we talk of, if I may take my own example of Mombasa, look at the populations there and the waste they generate, which is a problem for them to use. But if we had cross-pollination of ideas and understanding and the roles that we each can play, how much energy can that waste produce to drive the maritime operations in the port? Then we're talking of, when you talk of circular economy, extending as much as possible the use of even the equipment that are applied in the port. Can we have community of leasing, sharing, so that everybody doesn't bring their own complement of equipment, so that we are reducing the burden on the environment? Then when we talk of technology, like, development of technology, just-in-time technology, so that the ships don't spend so much time in port and pollute the atmosphere, make it a problem for the port city dwellers. So a raft of issues, of measures that we could bring in, but of course it calls for capacity building and exchange of ideas, working together in collaboration between the users and the operators and the people who are impacted, because we are in this journey together. Regenerative measures like the planting, making the areas resilient, like planting of mangroves. When we look at shipping, looking at the long-term end of use of the parts we use, if we have those of us who are in that business, so that as much as possible we are extending the life of the parts of the ships and the equipment we use. Those are some of the ideas that I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Abdallah, and thank you, Madam Ambassador, Nancy Karigitu, and all the presenters. I will take final contribution from the audience. Maybe the last two. I saw a hand from there, please. All right. Any other? Okay, we have the third. Any other? And the fourth? And the fifth? But kindly be brief as possible. The mic, please.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for this chance. My name is Robert Finanga from National Insurance Corporation. Thank you for presenting us. As my colleague addressed the issue of insurance, please, in the next forum, I may ask you to consider the issue of insurance. How do we link the blue economy and risk management in perspective of insurance? Currently, we have a law in Tanzania, all importers and exporters, they should insure their cargoes internally. And also, the issue of Zanzibar, I've seen those smaller fisheries. I don't know if we have addressed the issue of group personal accident for them while they are doing their fishing activities, and also the cargo. Because if we take initiative in encouraging insurance issues, I think we will prosper. So the framework should also look at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. Very brief and clear.
Thank you. I'd like to contribute on the sustainability of the seas so that we do not kill them. At sea we have map or conventions guarding the ships of how to, or sort of making them not to pollute the seas and the air, etc. And there are means of enforcing those. Now, what have we got to stop pollution of the seas from land? Meaning from maybe rivers. You see, during rainy seasons, the rivers are picking up anything and throwing it into the sea, canals, etc. What have we got in place to curb that, and how do we enforce that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will contribute at community level, as we have spoken in one of our pillars, community engagement. For us to succeed in this blue economy journey, we should first not rush, because you have been coming with good things, but we rush to approach them. So if we don't approach it in a very proper way, it means also our blue economy mission will not succeed. So my advice first is to think about representations, to make sure that marginalized groups who are in our communities are fully informed and aware to venture in the blue economy. So we have the police. Now, for me, my input will be to strengthen the technical groups to coordinate the sector, because as per now, it's a bit complicated to manage this sector. So if we have a technical group, well functioning, well coordinated, I think we can get there. But also, we can launch some intervention around creation of awareness for people in coastal areas and all actors to be on the same page. For this mission, we can also succeed. Again, in terms of job creation, especially for young people, we should think on skills development. How are we equipping young people with the right skills for them to dive in the sector? Promoting innovations in the sector could be key to create more jobs in this blue economy value chain. Thank you so much.
Thank you. At the back there.
Good evening to the distinguished panel. I'm a marine engineer who has sailed on foreign-going vessels. I have two questions to ask to all the panelists. One is in terms of port state control for the ships which are calling to the Tanzania port. What is the structure at present in terms of port state control? And for the young marine engineers who are present here and also through DMI, one of the opportunities, even if foreign-going vessels are not available in enough quantity for training, perhaps the port state control mechanism can allow young engineers to access the ships and understand the shipping ecosystem. That will be one step in the direction of moving towards gaining sea experience. And the other question that I had was, are there tangible goals in terms of tonnage that the country is looking in terms of having in terms of cargo ship, and in which particular, let's say, ro-ro vessels or bulk carriers or different types of vessels, which is on the radar, that these are the targets that we intend to have as a first step. So these are two questions that I have.
Thank you. That is the fourth. I'm counting. The fifth, the last one. Where? Okay. There is last. After this one, you will be the last of the last, because you came very late. The first in. Oh, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for giving me this golden opportunity. In fact, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate the Ministry of Transport as well as the DMI College. Let us give them let's clap for them. A hand of applause. Yeah, so in fact, what they've been doing they deserve a pat on the back. They deserve a distinction and not a credit for the last 2-3 conferences I've been attending them. Labda pia nitarudi sasa kwenye lugha yetu. Mimi ni professional fine artist. Niko based Bagamoyo. Tangu niko chekechea nilikuwa nachora picha kwa kutumia rangi ya blue, nikaitwa Mr. Blue. Sasa naposikia hiyo, nilipoona hii blue economy imenigusa sana. Na ndio maana hata mkiniamsha usingizini nitaongea habari ya Ministry of Transport na DMI na blue economy. Jina langu lingine naitwa Mr. Flamingo kwa vile ni environmental stakeholder. Lakini nirudi kwenye mada. Kuna swali limeulizwa, how do we implement blue economy without harming the marine environment? Kwa kweli kutekeleza utaratibu huu wa blue economy, tunahitaji kupambana na uchafuzi wa mazingira. Kwa mfano hapa kwenye ukumbi kuna hizi chupa, hebu fikiria hizo zote, hata nusu ya hizi zikiingia baharini itakuwaje? Hizi chupa tunaona ni rahisi tu kuzitupa, au viti vya plastiki na makorokoro mengine. Hii chupa ikikaa ndani ya bahari, chini ya bahari, ndani ya mwaka mmoja inageuka sponge, inakuwa kama mkate wa baresa. Of course sina shida ya kuwataki, sina uadui na baresa, nazungumzia hizi chupa. Sasa serikali na shauri, nafupisha maneno, itunge sheria kwamba hao wote wanaotumia hizi chupa za plastic. Nashukuru kampuni ya Coca-Cola iliona hilo, imejaribu, imesema itajitahidi sana kurekebisha, na inatoa elimu kuhusu hizi uchafuzi wa bahari kupitia hizi taka ngumu za plastic. Kinachotakiwa kwamba walipe kodi kiasi fulani. Hiyo kodi itakapokatwa pasenti, at least shauri kwamba vianzishwe vilabu vya huko mashuleni. Mimi ni member wa Jane Goodall Institute. Tuna kitu inaitwa Roots and Shoots program ya watoto. Kuanzia tunaanza na watoto kuwafundisha jinsi ya kutunza mazingira. Mimi naomba wizara hii ya uchukuzi pamoja na DM waanzishe program ya watoto. Bagamoyo mimi nadili na watoto wa mitaani, na wafundisha sarakasi, ngoma, uchoraji. Hata mimi mnaweza mkanitumia na kikundi changu tukafanya kampeni kila kona ya nchi. Watoto pia waelimishwe kuhusu athari zinazotokana na hizi taka ngumu za plastiki. Asante sana.
Asante. Although some of us did not understand it, naona hawajaweka. The last there.
Thank you. My name is Gloria Ernest Mrema. I am a last year student of Bachelor of Mechanical and Marine Engineering. I had a question on the concept of, you spoke about encouraging the young generation in the sector of marine. Most especially, I would like to ask, what is your plan, or what are you planning on encouraging more females in the sector? Because it's kind of discouraging, because a lot of females are in the sector, but once they get engaged to go for sea-time studies or being on board, there is no enough accommodation. So we thought that as we are discussing about the blue economy, we hope that you would also be considering on consideration of the females in the sector, mostly on the accommodation issue. But also, because blue economy has been the talk, and it's a, how can I say, it's a sector that is to be considered. So as we are teaching the young generation, what do you say about blue economy as blue economy being a topic or a study to be taken in the secondary schools? Because in Tanzania, we are taught about fishing industry, but they don't really go deeper on more on the fishing industry. So if you are trying to teach and encourage the young generations, then I think you should contribute, or you should cooperate to the government and change the syllabus of the country and let the youngsters to know about the blue economy when they're still young. So once they get engaged in the sector, they would understand more about the marine sector, different from how we just meet it here at the higher level, which is the university level. Thank you.
Thank you for the contributions and questions. Now, as we are about to close the session, I would welcome each and every speaker to give like a closing or a statement, closing statement for the purpose of closing whatever the session. and leave us with something maybe to digest or something to go home with. But it will only be for 1 minute. Only 1 minute. Please. Thank you, Ambassador.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to thank the audience. It's late and you're still here with us, meaning that you share and we all share the vision and the energy, and we want to do better for our country through the blue economy. And like I said when I stood on the podium, this is not the job of one person. It is the job for every one of us. All of us can plug in somewhere and do something for the sector. Whether it's industry, community, the community, the regional, national governments, there is something, a contribution for each one of us, and we need to hold hands to be able to build the blue economy for the benefit of our societies. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My concluding remarks, there are many opportunities in blue economy. And one of the opportunity that has been brought by since this discussion of the blue economy started is to be able to bring together different sectors. I, for one, being in the same forum with the shipping was not very common. But now I'm interacting with the shipping industry quite often, discussing on different issues of common interest. So it's blue economy concept is opening up opportunities for us to be able to get out of our comfort zone and be able to reach out to other sectors and see how together we can optimize the utilization of the resources for the benefit of the countries and the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. What I can conclude is to say that blue economy is cross-cutting issue. So this means that whenever we think of blue economy, we are supposed, or we are obliged to think of its sustainability, because the community which we are making, maybe we are making strategy or policy, their life depend on the blue economy. The marine transport depend on blue economy. The tourism sector depend on blue economy. So only together, and considering the interest of each party on this cross-cutting environment, we can make the blue economy sustainable and very important to the development of Tanzania. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My remarks is that the United Republic of Tanzania, especially when it comes to the issues of environment and the blue economy, we are expecting to have a COSE. A COSE means Conference of Stakeholders Environment. We're going to launch it, and it will be almost the same as the way you hear the COP, Conference of Parties. And Tanzania, in the environmental perspective, we are expecting to launch such thing, Conference of Stakeholders Environment. It's a forum which we're expecting every one of us to be part of it, and it's a forum which we're going to discuss all the good and bad concerning the environment, including the blue economy space. So I believe those questions and all those concerns you have, this forum will be a proper forum to address and to find out how we can handle all the raising concern of yours. I thank you again. Blue economy is for us, and we are here for the blue economy. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank you all speakers for the contributions you have made to the audience about your expertise in blue economy areas, and also my appreciation to the participants, also for your contributions, questions, and for being here the whole day. Now, there are a number of questions, more questions online. We will try our best to see how we can respond to all these questions as we will be able to do it. Please keep in mind that tomorrow we will have a session for resolutions. So whatever you have heard today and what you will be hearing tomorrow and all the discussions, at the end we will have to come up with resolutions. We have been challenged also by our guest of honor to see how we improve this conference from this one to the next one. It should not die, but it shall live. So, in order for it to be continuous, we need to have something that should keep us going. And one of them should be the resolutions that will be worked upon for the development of blue economy. I thank you for whoever gave me the opportunity, the very abrupt opportunity to be the to chair this particular session. Thank you very much.
Hello, 1, 2, okay, yes. I think it works with them. I think we made a good decision to bring you in as the moderator. Thank you very much for the fantastic work you've done with the presenters. We appreciate you for that. Ready to release you. You may go back to your seats. We have a very important, may I call it a dissertation. I wish that we listen to it very carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a look at the screens. Please use the information there to register. Your password is a default password. Just use anything. It doesn't have to be the one associated with your official email. Okay, so please use that to get all the presentations, to stay abreast with the meeting. Now, it's my great pleasure to request your attention to a presentation or to a statement that will be made by Dr. Jethro W. Brooks Jr., the Acting Vice Chancellor, Regional Maritime University from Accra, Ghana. It's towards the end of the day. Sir, please come wake us up with vigor and a rousing statement. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end of the day. And so, number to pigi makofi mengi sana. Let's put our hands together to Dr. Jethro. And once you're done, sir, please close off the day. It's been a good day. And tomorrow we start early, everyone. 8 a.m. in the morning. Karibu sana.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And let me just tell you that I'm quite aware from the classroom that after recess or after break, do not talk too much because the students won't be listening. But I've listened generally from the discussions, and I listened to one key word that I think was collectively used, And that word was collaboration. But I think in the use of that word, it was domestically emphasized. So I will urge us, all of us, to begin to internationally use that word. So Tanzania can learn from the other countries, and the other countries can learn from Tanzania. And by doing so, we can improve on what we've started. We can learn new tactics and new tricks to make sure we achieve this wonderful blue economy. As the speakers and others have said, basically is eat some and keep some. It is intended to ensure that the generation unborn benefit from the resources of our country, and not we finishing it before we go down the 6 or 8 feet. I bring you greetings from the Regional Maritime University, where I have all of my colleagues, some presenters, some moderators, some doing PRO work outside. But will you people just stand, please, and please give my colleagues from Ghana a hand from the Regional Maritime University. Thank you. One key thing I would like to just leave with us. Again, the panelists were concerned about what you're doing at the port, what you're doing in the community, at the beach shore, and what is being done in the environment. I think one of the speakers used a word that I think is very important, and that word is education. You must sensitize and educate the people on the benefits to be derived from doing what we want them to do. Because if you tell me to stop doing this as a citizen, which was used for my livelihood, you must, underscore the word, must provide an alternative. Because you are my leader, I'm listening to you. So if I must stop A, then you must provide A subset 1 that may be surviving until I can get used to B. That is the process. The next thing is that these conferences are always held. And DMI and RMU decided to collaborate this time around for the 3rd Blue Economic Conference. The 4th one is next year. That's supposed to be organized again by the 2 of us, but then this time somewhere in West Africa. These papers that are being produced, I would charge DMI and RMU to ensure that the research to be derived from these papers can be executed. Let them not just form part of the archives again for the cockroaches and the dust to fill them up. We need to make sure that we can conduct the research that will help our individual countries and collectively Africa. We also mentioned about sailors. There is an opportunity now that everybody have faced towards Africa. Yes, because it's the problem of families. But I know ship owners now have begun to find a solution to that problem. And that solution is they ensure that you stay on the ship for about 12 months or 8 months, wherever it is, you go back home, serve your family, be with your family for some time, then you come back. So that old adage where you will be on sea for 3-4 years, we're all coming back to see your children, no, that is changing. The ship owners already know about that. So they're trying to address that situation, sir. I can remember you raising that issue, sir. So that is being addressed by ship owners. One other thing we need to do when we set forward the blue economy, we got to develop entrepreneur clusters. Because individuals may not have the resources to start doing an alternative business. So we, as the policy makers, we as the implementers of the policies, can ensure that we can put them, form cluster groups of entrepreneurs, give them the necessary support so that they can collectively work together and produce what they may want to produce based on their expertise, and we can also buy it from them. It's a source of selling out what they really have. Having said that, we are committed, DMI, to most of the arrangements we have in our MOU. But let me just lastly remind you that, as we said, the next conference will be held sometime August next year, which we are jointly hosting, again sometime in West Africa. I'm saying sometime because it may not be in Ghana, our base, but it may be there. You know, we are 5 countries bound. At the same time, let me remind you that those scholarship students are supposed to be in sometimes next month, so they have to be on time for classes to begin also. Thank you so much for inviting us, and we are very much happy to be here. I say, Manase, we say in Ghana, and I show in Tanzania, you always say, Asante.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Nashukuru sana. Have a great evening. Enjoy your stay in Dar es Salaam. Kwa ambao tupo hapa nyumbani, basi kama tumekuwa marafiki na wageni, basi tuwakarimu. Kwa siku ya leo, tumeanza kwa sala. Tumshukuru Mungu tumemaliza salama. Inshallah aturejeshe tukiwa na afya njema kwa siku ya kesho. Hongereni sana kwa siku ya kwanza. Naambiwa kwamba nitajiunga nanyi kesho, kwa hiyo nami nashukuru. Nimeona ni huduma ambayo ningependa kuendelea nayo. Na watakieni nyote basi jioni njema na mbarikiwe sana. See you tomorrow. Mapema kesho, early tomorrow morning. Asante.
Yes, sisi watoto